Okay, this is Jeremy, and yeah, this is looking good. Let me take a look at these boots. Might give us a little more thickness here, and then maybe put a holding edge at the top so that it's a little bit kind of more of a substantial corner. Maybe at one on the inside as well. We can isolate. Control Shift X. Put that in there. And yeah, now it looks like it has a little more sort of substance to it when you compare it to the one next to it. Like it's actually made out of a reasonably thick piece of material. Give that a little more shape, but that looks okay. The legs look pretty good, except the butt, like from the side looks okay, but from the back it looks kind of a little funny, and I thought it might be good to use there's a deformer called the sculpt deformer, which is made up of two objects actually, sculpt stretch origin and the sculptor, and it's sort of stretched from the origin to the sculpt sphere. So I'm just going to move this sort of in the position of one side of the butt and kind of scale it down and move that back some. And what's good about it is that it makes sort of a round, whatever shape the points are currently in, it'll make like more of a round shape. So that might be too exaggerated, but I can scale it in this way a little bit too. Maybe something like that. And then if you're happy with the shape you got, you can delete history, edit delete by type history, and then I'll actually delete the deformer out. And then I would just have to go in and then mirror this. I'm just going to isolate the selected. I might flatten this out first. And select the faces of just one side of this. And just double check my selection. Delete that. I'm just going to select this shift double. Oh, we didn't like that. Select this one. Shift double click that. Wants to go all the way around. Let's just do it. Select them from the front view. I can already tell they're not exactly aligned to the center. So I'm going to make sure I'm in move mode, and with this little interface up here, if it's hidden, you can expand it out from there. Make sure I'm on absolute transform and use 0 in the X direction, and that'll flatten those out along the center line perfectly. Then we're going to check the pivot, just make sure it's at the center, which it appears to be. I can, grid snap it. Oops, D, grid snap. Just holding on the middle mouse. Why isn't it not? D, X. Well, now it's snapping to the grid. Anyway, just make sure that's exactly centered, and then shift right mouse click, mirror options, turn off cut geometry, and then mirror across the x-axis. And this little red line on this little x line shows you that's the positive direction, so we're going in the negative direction, although that's grayed out when you uncheck. I don't know when it's grayed out. Anyways, we'll combine with original merge border vertices, custom distance. I like 0.001 so I don't accidentally merge anything. Should be merged. And better? A little better. I don't know. Maybe keep going with that. Maybe I kind of still had it. I still think it's a little better than what you had. There's some kind of split down the front, or something looks funny about the front. Something's not right here. Maybe it's down here or something. It just doesn't look right. I'm just going to isolate. Oops, I didn't mean to isolate all that. Just that. Oh, okay, that is split down there. So what I would tend to do then is just actually select all the vertices and do edit mesh merge options and use 0.001, and then that way anything right on top of each other will merge. And yeah, I'm not getting that weird thing at the bottom anymore. Alright, and maybe you wanna, this is looking a little choppy here, so I might wanna smooth that out, and I like to use under the surfaces menu the sculpt geometry tool options and have it a soft brush and have the smooth tool on, and if under stroke, if I turn on reflection, it'll kind of mirror it, so then I can just kind of just sort of smooth out, just improve. Oh, I kind of got a little bit that I didn't want to get, so it's good to click several times so you can always undo since the last click if you get something you don't like. I just want that topology to look a little better, and maybe on the back too. Hmm. Um, yeah, I guess, and this seam down the front, I think that's just seems alright. Maybe just do the mesh display soften. Maybe we'll fix that. Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right, and yeah, hands looking pretty good. I think you get a little more kind of mass here and a little more distinction with the wrists. Not real fond of the making a whole bunch of triangles here. I can understand why you did that, but I'll show you a different approach. So I've turned on display heads-up display polycount to see, for example, how many shift double click are there. 14 around here and 27. How do we end up with these odd numbers? Probably gonna look for something I can delete without changing the shape much. I mean, that's not so great. Um, yeah, I also don't like, I kind of, how these are. Yeah, that's 27. Um, yeah, probably one of these actually I could delete like that. I end up with a six-sided face there, but actually what I could probably do is just go like that and go right to the middle. Oh, I still end up with a triangle. Oops. Or a couple triangles really. Doesn't really solve anything. But I was just going to try to get rid of some of these. So the method I like to use is Control Shift X and for Control Shift X, and then do a diagonal line from here to here, and then one from here to there. Kind of cross this A shape that I'm making, and then delete out these edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I still have an edge loop, and I still have quads, but so what are we up to now? 24, and this is 14. Geez, I'll have to do that several more times. So here to here, enter. Here to there, enter. Shift right mouse click delete edge. Don't just delete it. These could probably slide. Shift right mouse click, slide edge. And then, you know, I can keep going around like that from here to there to there. Everything's at kind of a funny angle, so it looks a little confusing. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. Take out the right ones there. That doesn't look right. Yeah, I guess it is. 20. So we need a few like on the back and stuff like that. Maybe some here. Alright, where are we at? 16, and what did we say it was on here? 14. Okay. Is there one more we can do? I feel like I kind of used up that real estate. Probably wasn't that careful because kind of run out of space. Oh, I think I can do one more here. This one looks a little confusing just because of the way the area is built, but oh, wait a minute, something went funny there. Oh, this is... I think that's a little different, actually. Might take this and extrude this out. And then scale this out a little bit. I think there's like an average vertices in here somewhere. Yeah, so that wasn't really that what I had hoped for. It's supposed to kind of average the distance between them, but they still look fairly crowded. I mean, I could try using circular eyes. Maybe that did a little better. And now I can do that one more time here somewhere if I want. Although it's getting a little, I don't know, messy looking, but kind of making a star shape there. Let's see how this turns out. Didn't really work, did it? What am I at now? 16? I have to get rid of 2 more edges. Just trying to avoid making any. I probably normally would go with like 16 on this arm, but here we are. Yeah, it's just that it's not sort of a standard shape. Try that sculpt geometry. Get that smoothed out a little bit. Maybe starting here we can do it. Is this gonna work? We did end up with triangles because they weren't parallel to begin with. Well, I don't know that we're gonna entirely avoid that at this point. But yeah, at least now you can. Alright, so I did it with less triangles. And again, I can go in and get that sculpt tool and kind of fix up this transition. And then once you do that, I might straighten this out a bit and straighten that out a bit and maybe slide this, oops, not extrude edge. Shift right mouse click, slide edge, maybe slide that down a bit. So now you have a more seamless, you could probably work on the shape of this a bit more. Well, that was big. And then you can remirror this whole thing, so because I fixed that side but not this one. Yeah, you can see how that maybe doesn't look as good. Maybe it's not that big of a difference at the end of the day, but we can remirror it. Whoops. Shift right mouse click, mirror. I've already got all the settings ready for that. I think this shape could use a little work too. It looks a little odd right now, but maybe once the rest is in there. Yeah, okay, so there's a few things you can fix.